I've shared about homeschool mean moms and talked about why I think that homeschool moms can be really mean and judgmental to one another. I think it's truly rooted in our insecurities and fears. We worry that we're not enough, our homeschool is not enough, our curriculum is not enough. And so, because we're feeling fearful and guilty and very insecure in our decision to homeschool, in our curriculum decisions, even in our schedule that we use or our teaching style, we then judge and are critical of other homeschool moms in order to make ourselves feel better because we don't want to feel like that we are somehow failing our kids. So it is easy to fall into the trap of comparing yourself to another homeschool mom. And it's easy to then fall into the role of being that homeschool mean mom, of judging another homeschool mom and really starting to have critical thoughts. And those thoughts may even come out. And I've had that happen to me. I've had other moms make those critical, cutting comments to me about my style of homeschooling or a curriculum that I had chosen or something like that. And it is really, really hard to be on the receiving end of that. And I know there's been times where I've been on the giving end of that where I have just met with another mom and not understood her style or thought somehow that my style was better. And so I've started to have those comparison thoughts in my own mind. So you don't want to be that mom. I don't want to be that mom. You don't want to run into that mom. So if you get together with another homeschool mom, I'm going to give you some questions to ask of yourself to keep yourself from falling into that comparison trap that's rooted in insecurity. So here is some homeschool mom etiquette for yourself. Always think, am I comparing myself to her in some way? My curriculum, my schedule, the way I teach, my homeschool style, am I comparing something to her? Because the reality is your homeschool is uniquely yours. It is individualized education for your kids. You're not homeschooling her kids. You're homeschooling your kids. And your homeschool shouldn't look anything like hers because you do not have the same children. Okay, the next question is, do I feel like my years and experience with homeschooling make me an expert? Because let me tell you, I have been homeschooling for more than 8 years. I am not an expert. I'm not a veteran homeschool mom. I still have no idea what I'm doing. And every year my plans change as I try to really work to fit the needs of my children and what they need that year. So I'm not an expert. I am learning every year. So when you're talking to another homeschool mom who's maybe just getting started out and she's just very enthusiastic and using all these different curriculum things, don't be judging her. She is enthusiastic. She's getting started. One day she will learn kind of some different styles. She'll try some new things and she'll have to just take some time to find what really works for her family. But you are not an expert, even though you may have been homeschooling for a lot longer. You're not an expert in her kids. She is. You are the expert on your kids, and you are not the homeschool expert. There's no such thing. And the next question is, am I judging her parenting choices? Because it's easy to judge homeschool choices, and then I found that then it kind of falls into judging parenting choices. They're very closely related. Because we often have our kids with us, we see the other people's kids and the way they behave or how they don't behave well, and we start to judge them based on, well, they're just not strict enough, or they're too strict, or they're not making the correct parenting choices, what we would do. That's not how you would handle things. You wouldn't have that much screen time in your homeschool for your kids. And so are you judging her parenting decisions? Because again, those are hers to make and not yours. And then you need to ask yourself, am I feeling insecure or jealous of her homeschool style, of her homeschool, of her kids, of something that she's doing? Is this feeling rooted in the insecurity? So if you are ever tempted to start bragging about your kids, their accomplishments, talking about your homeschool or the curriculum that you've chosen, you might hold up your schedule and just talk about all the things that you're able to accomplish, and you might leave that homeschool mom feeling really insecure. And you just need to remember, am I feeling insecure and therefore I am feeling the need to brag or point out the things that I'm doing right, because actually, no, I'm feeling insecure. Because as a homeschool mom, we all have those feelings of insecurity, and so we really need to be careful that we're not tearing other homeschool moms down, because we all are secretly feeling that way. So the question you really need to ask yourself is there any way I can support or encourage her in her homeschool journey? When you're meeting with another homeschool mom, you can just know that she has dealt with guilt and fear and insecurity as she's come to the decision to homeschool. And then for every year she homeschools, she always questions her curriculum choices, her scheduling choices, the activities that her kids are in, how she teaches. Is she patient? Is she not patient enough? Is she doing enough? Will her kids have gaps in their education? Will they ever get into college? Those are things that we all struggle with. Those are things we all ask ourselves. So instead of worrying about trying to compare, just think about how can I encourage or support her. Her journey is completely different than mine. Hers is unique to her homeschool, but I want to be able to support her and encourage her in any way that I can, because deep down inside she's probably feeling exactly like me. And I know that we all feel that way at times, feeling very insecure. So we want to make sure that we are doing whatever we can to build each other up and encourage other homeschool moms.